Hey, listen up. This is Jerry Harris, SPRB Radio Podcast Show. Check it out with 10-star General and Sharon Manzo. A live conversation show. Check it out. Don't left it out. Oh yeah. Hey, SPRB Radio Podcast. SPRB Radio Podcast. With 10-star General and Sharon Mango. Yeah, SPRB Radio Podcast. SPRB Radio Podcast. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Yes. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out. Now. Yes, SPRB Radio Podcast with 10 stars. Check it out. Check it out.
Well, all I can say is, Sly, welcome to the SPRB radio family. Can you have fun?
That's what I say.
Greetings, one and all. I'm 10-star General alongside my beautiful co-host down there in sunny New Jersey. That's a wise crack, by the way. How is it?
Yeah. It's funny enough.
Normally during this time of the year, it's like really freezing, and I tell you, today was one of the longest I spent in my bed. Trust me, it cold like ice.
Yeah, it's sunny, but it's cold too. It's cold. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We got it too. Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, that's the way we're going to be starting our show as per normal. I think we're going to take a break from the news just for a little while. And thanks to Jerry Harris for the theme tune that he's done for us. And today we have a wonderful guest. A guest that has left me gobsmacked. A guest that has left me looking for the defibrillator, thinking, oh my God, I can't breathe. This artist is phenomenal. Sharon, tell me about this artist, because it all took place. I think that the spark started Lovers Rock Radio. Let's give our dues to Lovers Rock Radio. DJ Maestro was playing.
Yes.
Jesus. I say, Shazza, make it happen. What happened?
Well, I called her and I was truly amazed because, number one, I was like, wait, did I call the US or did I call the UK? Because, the accent. And I was like, oh, my sister-in-law. Okay, so we're both representing, both sides of the border. But such an amazing individual to talk to. So excited about her. She has this. Listen, I'm not even going to say nothing right now. When she comes on, we're going to talk about what she is and who she is, because this one's
who have we got to thank for this one? Who have we got to thank for this?
We have to thank DJ Maestro for making the link, because we heard, not like we haven't heard you sing before, but Lovers Rock Radio, they were playing music. She came on, I was like, who's that? DJ Maestro was like, oh, I know her. So we just said, well, make it happen, and he did. So we're eternally grateful.
We're thankful to DJ Maestro, and we're also grateful to Beverly Notes. And Beverly Notes is in the building. Thank you, Beverly Notes. Also, we want to thank Coral. She reached out. Yeah, she does PR for Rafeelya as well. So we want to thank Coral. So without any further delay, let's bring our super fabulous guest, Rafeelya.
Oh my goodness. Blessings and wow, there's so much more. And we got DJ Maestro. Thanks for making a link. Beverly Notes, which boy, we got some stories to talk about with Beverly, because she's.
I'm sure you listen. I can't wait for that, because there was a picture there was a picture, I gotta say, there was a picture that popped up with you, Beverly Notes, and Claire Angel. Now, when you see Beverly standing next to certain people, you know they're destined for greatness, because evidently it was a picture from way back. But when Beverly's standing next to certain people, or she's presented as this greatness coming, because Beverly Notes is one of a kind. An amazing vocalist and artist in her own right. And whatever she touches or comes in contact with turns to gold. So I saw that picture and I said, oh, them girls are going to be big. And here you are. You and Claire Angel, just phenomenal vocalists.
Trust me. And big up to Conscious Lead Promotions. Thank you as well. Thank you for standing by me all these years. Like, just, I am surrounded by greatness. And you know, if I'm never like massive in life, I'm still massive in love. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not saying I won't be, but what I'm saying is I'm surrounded by some real, real goodness, and I'm so grateful, big time grateful. You know?
And that is one thing that we all have to be thankful for, especially when you think about the world in which we're living in today. You know, you're hearing messages, well, me not have no brethren, me not have no friend, me not have no this. But we have to celebrate good people that do turn up in our life, you know. So before we begin this conversation, like I say, organically, I think I can say, who can you see, Sharon? Big up all the people you can see in the. Can you see the comments?
I could see, of course, DJ Maestro, Consciously. Thank you so much for tuning in. TG, Beverly Notes. Who else?
Okay, as we go along, we'll be bigging up some of the people. Also, if it's your first time here, and this is something that I'm learning as, you know, one of the oldies, as you go into this new technology, you have to say certain things. So please subscribe to our channel if you like what we do, please.
That's right.
And help us to grow the channel. Ain't that right, Rafeelya?
Yes, absolutely. You have to make the connection, and you have to tell a friend, not only subscribe. You got to tell someone else.
There you go. You heard it from Rafeelya. Tell a friend.
You have to tell a friend.
Yes. So thank you to everyone for being there. We're just going to start this conversation as per normal, as we normally do. There is no script. As a matter of fact, while I do one or two things, I'm going to let Sharon Mango delve into her earlier life, and I'll be jumping in here and there. So Sharon, take it away, please.
Well, my love. She's my new love. So Rafeelya, again, thank you so much for being here. We want to take you back a little bit because, you know, you are a relatively young lady, you know, not that far back. So take us back to where you were born, number one. How come you have an American accent? Because everybody's like, oh, I didn't know she was American. You know what I'm saying? That's going to come up. But take us back to, again, where you were born, went to school, mom and dad, brothers and sisters. Let's start there.
All right. So I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, and I was born to a Jamaican father and American mother. My musical journey started at like age 3, age 4. Like I was made to play piano for about 7 years. I did dance, I did ballet. I was always made to be doing something. Like there was no like really idle time. So piano was where it started. I had a piano teacher that was really old school. She used to beat my fingers. She used to beat my fingers with a ruler if I got it wrong. And while now when I think back to that, I'm like, that's why I don't like the piano now. But he used to, you know what I'm saying? But she used to do vocal training at the beginning. She used to do ear training actually, and I think that the ear training was what really got me stuck to being able to sing, because like the ear is really good. It's sharp. Like if something's not right, it's because of her. you know. And even though, like I said, she beat my fingers, but she definitely helped my ears. So that's where it sort of began. I didn't continue with piano after the age 10. I think I did like bunch of recitals and things like that, but I didn't keep playing. I didn't want to keep playing. And I think that was definitely like the foundation of me, you know, really caring a lot about music. My dad also, at his house, there was always there was the radiogram. We had an 8-track. We had the vinyl.
Right.
Yeah. So, and I always had a Walkman. Every time you saw me, I had a Walkman. And for those young people in the place that don't know what a Walkman is, it is a cassette that went into a player.
That's funny. Yes.
I remember that.
They're like, what is that?
Me and Sharon go further back. Me and Sharon go back to the days when you had to wind up the turntable. Sorry, Sharon. Sorry.
Don't give it too much secret now. Don't give it in secret.
What are you talking about? That's funny. All right, go on then. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really it. Like, I was always seen with some sort of music on me. And that would have been like the foundation of me just really caring about music, always having access to music. I think I was supposed to play guitar at one point. My dad was like, you need to play the guitar, let's play the guitar. I didn't want to cut my fingernails. I was a bit like, nah, I don't want to do that. So yeah, it was voice. It became the voice. And I mean, sadly, I've not had any real vocal training to that. I think it just come down to spirit and passion and, always writing a poem here and there. And yeah.
So during your early years, sorry, Sharon, during your early years growing up in Boston, I'm assuming, right? Okay, so during your early years growing up in Boston, what did you want to become in school?
So you're gonna laugh. So the first thing I wanted to become is a journalist. That was the first thing on my mind. I wanted to do journalism. And I believe it's because I used to like reading a lot. And that was a thing. And then after a while, I didn't pursue it really. I had friends, but I didn't hang out with a lot of friends. My thing was music, so I did chase the music. I started to hang out at the Vibes Record Shop, Record Shop in Mattapan. My mentor, Junior Rodigan, when the songs used to come in, when the records used to come into 45s, and I was there, and I love my mixtapes. I figured out that that I had a Jamaican background, and there was this beautiful music because my dad wouldn't let me play reggae in the house. I should say that.
Right.
And there's a whole nother thing to that. I'll talk about that later.
But, what was his gripe with reggae?
So the thing was, I didn't understand then. I didn't understand it until I became older. But my dad had record labels, and he was in Jamaica. So my dad was in the business, and I think my dad had an issue with the way that reggae music had the direction it had gone, because he would have been into Minto and Ska at the time. My dad was earlier in the history of it. So I think my dad had an issue with the way music was going. So he was like, play your own music, make your own thing. Don't listen to that foolishness and that rubbish. And I used to think, what are you saying right now?
And even though it makes me wonder what kind of which artist he was talking about that made him feel that way. However, we do know Prince Buster had, a spicy way of delivering certain specific songs. Could Prince Buster be the cause of your father's?
It's really sad. A lot of history died with him. He died during during COVID. And over the years, like, he would tell me stories, but he never really used too many names. So yeah, I'm having to dig back into his archives, into his into his
Right.
find out the
So it seems like music was something you really were passionate from when you were really young. It sounds like something that you knew you wanted to do and become, right?
Oh yeah. Um there was always some form of it going on. So I had a moment where I played steel pan.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I just wanted it in my life way somehow. I would take part
Mm.
in talent shows. I think one of the first talent shows I took part in, I think Artist Determined was a guest at the time.
Mm.
What else? There were a couple of different times I just sort of, I just was always throwing myself into the mix of things. So yeah,
Mm.
it was.
I see Beverly Knows typing in Rafeelya was her father's twin.
Yeah, and my mother's. If you see both of them, you'd be thinking, "How? Like, how does
Oh
that work?"
wow.
My sisters think when they look at me, they see mom, and then they're like, "Darn it, I see a father." Like they can't tell. So yeah,
Right,
that's
right. I was keeping you on the borderline there. I want Sharon to take over and then continue the conversation. Like I say, here and there, I'm going to be jumping in back and forth. But Sharon, you heard that, right? She is her father and her mother's twin. They're
Yeah,
triplets.
yes. That's how I heard. So I assume that there was no other brothers and sisters from
So I
your
have
mom and
two
dad.
older sisters. I
Okay,
have two older sisters, but they have a different father. They
okay.
are one's in Boston and one is in Alabama. Um, yeah, which is my
Oh.
mother's hometown. Yeah, my mother's hometown is Alabama. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I always say that I have the best of both worlds in the sense that, I have a mom who grew up during the time of the civil rights movement. So um, in terms of the history and how we feel about things and the education of the time, I'm very in touch with my blackness, so to speak, and my history and where I'm coming from. And from my dad's side, my dad was born in 1929, so he would have there would have been a lot of history before I came along. I wasn't born till he was 51. So again, in terms of the history and where we're coming from, like I feel like, God rest their soul, they're both no longer here. But I just feel like their lives equipped me well to be able to one, move, be away from home, and to just be able to live amongst people, with heart. Yeah.
That's the interesting part about you and your life, because when literally when you say you got the best of both worlds, you got the best of both worlds. Because let's, for instance, say about Black history, about our blackness, right? I can say, growing up in England, there was a lot of things we weren't taught. There was a lot of things we didn't know, even about American Black history. We had no clue, right? It was just like tunnel vision with these people. We knew about the Zulus, and we knew about this, and we knew about that. But your history, no.
Yeah.
To you now, your mom being American and of course your dad being Jamaican, it is the best of both, because then from your dad's era and your mom's era, with that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, that just gives you more depth, I think, as an individual. You know what I'm saying? You really know where you're coming from. And that's the beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying? You know where you're coming, what you're destined to be, or where the mindset is. So it's amazing how just those very little things are so instrumental in our lives as children. Because when you know, and when you don't know, people's minds are blown. They don't know where to start. You know what I'm saying? It becomes chaotic. You balance, and you could tell. You can tell by the way you express yourself.
Thank you. I can say it's equipped me for moving to England because, yeah, yeah, there's a lot that I know in many ways wouldn't have been shared, and I think it definitely determined the way I was able to bring my boys up, because bring my boys up now, I always made sure to include that. Like anytime Black History Month came up, I was always like, you need to do something. And they're like, what do you want about? I'm like, no, you need to do something. You need to talk about someone that looks like you, and you need to talk about how that inspires you. You know, you need to talk about who you see around you that looks like you, that inspires you. Like, let's keep that conversation going so that they connect with the fact that actually we are all connected, and we all are here to inspire and to, you know, to raise one another's vibration. Yeah.
Let me ask a question, because you mentioned your father. Your father's no longer here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, may his soul rest in peace. What do you carry on your shoulders, which was passed over from your father?
I think it might be a bit of frustration with the business, but at the same time, there's been an understanding, so to speak. I think that from where my father was and up until now, there's been a whole lot of progression in the business, yet not so much. I think maybe frustration in the business would come with, you know, I think a lot of it is down to poverty, to be fair, and habits that develop through poverty. And then the other part of that is, well, it still boils down to poverty, because you want to be you want to get in, and you want to connect with those, and you connect with those. And the minute that you connect with those, then your boundaries are down. So there's no level set in order to take the business to where it needs to be. So I believe in what is an industry, what's supposed to be an industry, we do still operate under a certain we operate under certain patterns that have not been they've not been conducive to our progression, basically.
Right. Would you connect lack of knowledge also with that, or no?
I mean, absolutely, lack of knowledge, but you know, once the boundaries are down and you feel like you're in, you stop searching for the knowledge, because you think that it's who you know, and at the end of the day, who you know is one thing, but if you don't have the knowledge of how to navigate those relationships, then you're still being taken, and you have no reason to progress your knowledge.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay, we're going to revisit what you just said later on down the line, but I'm going to allow Sharon to continue to take you through that progression of where you've come from to where you are today, you know. And again, I'm just going to be jumping in here and there, asking those awkward questions.
He's gonna do that. Well, I'm so in love with this girl, and I'm gonna ask her all these questions because I'm such a fan, you know what I mean? And he's just like, well, I'm just gonna jump in. So I want to know, I don't think we touched on it yet. What was school life for you? Like, I know you wanted to be a journalist and all that, but what was school life for you?
Oh my goodness, school life was funny. School life was funny. All right, where do I begin? Okay, so initially, my mom and my dad, they put me in private school. That was like initial. That was my start. Then I went from there to a public school, but public school was like in the suburbs. So there was a program called METCO. It was a Metropolitan Educational something or other. Basically, what they did was they bused inner city youth to suburban schools in order for us to have a better opportunity at our education. Yeah. So big up Junie Thompson. So when we got that when I was involved in that, it was crazy because my mom also worked in she worked in the school system. So my mom got 3 girls up every morning to get on this school bus, and we was like 45-minute ride to this what is basically an all-white school. So there weren't many Black children they were, well, I'm trying to think. I guess in the grand scheme of things, it probably would have been about, I don't know, maybe 70 students in total, but they would have been split up in school. So you would have had some in the high school, you would have had some in the junior school, you would have had some in the elementary. So if you split them all up, it'd probably make about 70. 90.
Right.
So so we were bused to this school. And luckily there was like maybe 1 or 2 Black teachers would have been that would have been like our pastoral care, helped us sort of be able to have that link that when stuff was getting tough and you're being surrounded by children that didn't look like you, that it sort of helped you to integrate and still maintain some sort of balance between who you are and what they think of you and how you're able to get through your school year. So that was an experience. Then I left that school when I went to high school. So I was probably about, it was about 14, 15 then. Then I went to a school that they called a pilot school. So the school was really small. Like I went from like a room of 30 kids to like a room of 15. And it was inner city. It was a school that was in like this nice little pod at the back of a massive community college. It was called Fenway Middle College High School then. It's called Fenway High now because they have their own building. But then at the time we were on a college campus. And a lot of what I went through was just like it felt like an experiment, right? I don't know how else to put it, but because it wasn't your average school, it felt like an experiment. But it was a great environment. It was nice to be surrounded by kids that looked like myself. It was more concentrated, back to the inner city. So you were there with your with all different cultures. I think the white kids that we did have in school, they came from over the bridge. They would have been like Irish descent, and there would have been a couple of issues there, but nothing too tough. We still got on. I still got connections with some of those people today, and I'm glad for that, Jerry. Like the schooling was great in a sense because it did help to advance what I loved about music. I can remember my music teachers quite well. One I had named Mrs. Pease, and then I had Mr. Fish. I know these names seem
that's real. Yeah,
they're both my music teachers. But and then I had Mr. Slaughter, Mr. Slaughter and Mrs. Lee. Come to find out, those two people were actually related because Mr. Slaughter used to work in my public school as a music teacher at the first school, and Mrs. Lee worked as the music teacher at my private school. So there was a link there. They might have been the reason why I was able to get into the school. I don't know, but I knew they were connected. And I've never forgotten them because I think they were the one that really just helped to solidify my good feelings for music.
Yeah. Wow. So after school now, what are you thinking? Are you gonna push for your music? Are you thinking of work? Like, where were you mentally? Like after you got out of school, like what was your next step? Put it that way.
You know what? I'm so glad you asked that question. And that makes me want to go back into what I was like at high school. Because I can tell you, I was heavily into my music during high school. So I would have been, one great story I can remember, I would have been in the studio with Sid Melody. He was recording in a place called Sterling. This is just one story. This is just one story I can tell you about. And I can tell you, at the time, my mom wasn't working in schools anymore. So I would wake up late for school. So after me being in the in the studio all night, I'm late to school. So me coming out of high school wasn't great. So what I was doing after high school, do you know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't focus. Music literally had me. It had me during high school. So when I left school, I think that first year I had to make up points because I had recorded. All right. So when I was 15, I went to New York and I had recorded. I was in the studio. I think it would have been Audrey Hall, Pam Hall. I would have been in this. I would have been in the studio around there recording on. I was in Brooklyn. Yeah, I called myself taking the bus to New York one weekend, and I was recording. It's like when I tell you, like, thank goodness for my mom. My mom wasn't like, I think she had diabetes at the time, so she couldn't cuss me as hard. You know, there was like, you know, every time she went to cuss me, her neuropathy would start. So she would just leave me to it. Like, and I think she realized that the levels I was going to chase this music, like, it wasn't going to come out my system. So I think she got used to not cussing me. So yeah, so when school finished, I had to go to some school and get these points in order to get my diploma. And at the same time, I was doing Berklee College of Music, which had a 5-week program. And that was probably like my first time into like getting classes about the business, meeting people from all over the world, because people from all over the world used to come to Berklee College of Music during their summer program to learn about the music business. Perhaps it was a way to try, you know, like a feeder into being able to go to Berklee College of Music full time. And I think after even doing that, I still didn't want to do music full time. Like, I didn't want to learn music full time. I was afraid that actually going into Berklee College of Music would have made me hate the business, when actually it probably would have given me an edge. But I didn't know that. I didn't know that, you know. So yeah, everything for a reason. Everything for a reason. So yeah. So I think after that, I went into Berklee College of Music. I didn't want to do that. And then after that, I came to England. There we go. 1999, I came to England and I came to meet my family. My dad sent me over to meet my family. And and so that's when I met Dilly for the first time.
Dilly from Stingray.
Dilly from Stingray. I met him the first time, and that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't meet with my cousin. So I have a cousin named Audrey Hall as well. But she would have been on BBC. She would have played on Jazz FM. Like, she's heavy into her music as well. So at my uncle's retirement party, because I have family over here. I got a lot of family in Manchester. I've got 2 uncles on my dad's side. They're based in So my uncle's retirement party, Prince Hammer. So if you don't know this name, Prince Hammer would have been
is a legend.
Yeah, he is a legend.
Yeah. So it was Prince Hammer who took me to meet Dilly and took me to record. So if it wasn't for him.
So wait, hold on before stick up in. So Prince Hammer is your family?
No, but he knew my family. He was close to my family.
Okay.
And while I
I'm
was
with
here,
you.
I came my first time in England. I was here 5 weeks. I was here for a good time. And it was him. I think he was like, oh yeah, she loves to sing. All right, well, let's do it. I will take her, for a day out. And he did. He took me for a day out, drove me to London from Manchester. And I got to meet Dilly first time. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. It was those were the big. Those were the beginning stages. Like, you didn't know who they were. Really, really know who these people were at the time, and then they're like, "Okay, come, you come." When you went, what happened? So when you went down there, what happened?
Oh my goodness! When I went, Dilly was ever so lovely. When I got in the door, Eric Donaldson was recording. Sylvia Teller was in. Yeah, this is my first time, like, really getting a piece of 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 what of what British reggae was about. What the history, like it was a really, really eye-opening time.
Are we talking before you actually hooked up with Junior Rodigan? Way before?
No, no, this would have been a little bit after, because if it wasn't for Junior Rodigan, if it wasn't for hanging out in his record shop, because again, like I said, my mom pretty much
talk us through that process and lead us to where you were, at
Okay.
the Stingray studio.
All right, so rewind back to high school. So like I said, I didn't keep a lot of friends. I sort of moved by myself. On the weekends, if you I didn't have a mobile phone then time there, so my mom used to ring the record shop and she used to go, "Junior, is that child in there?" Yeah. So as long as she knew that I was in there, then it was okay. Like she sort of ended up having to understand with him that okay, if she's out, she's out with it. So yeah, I'd always be in a record shop. At that time, during that time, I must have told him that I wanted to sing, that I liked singing. Then he didn't want to record with me. He had a record label called Mastermind. And there were artists that he was recording at the time in Boston. And so he wasn't going to take a chance on me until he heard something I had done. So he had another friend named DJ Wade. DJ Wade was a police officer, but he was also a DJ. DJ Wade decided he wanted a dub plate. So the dub plate was Be Happy, Mary J. Blige. I never forget doing this dub plate or special for DJ Wade. When Rodigan heard it, he was like, "Okay, all right, we can record you, because I know you're not gonna play around with the time." Like he wanted to know that I wasn't gonna mess about with the time, just kind of do a good job and do a good job. So, that was the first. Okay, and then at the same time, so he eventually recorded me. As a matter of fact, if you know about a fella named Raspy,
I've heard the name.
Okay, so Raspy is from the Virgin Islands, but he's a really big artist and been doing culture music for a long time. But he would have been one of the people I recorded with first. So the first song I ever recorded was a cover tune of Brandy and Wanya Morrison's "Broken Hearted."
Oh yeah.
So that was the first recording ever.
Ever. Okay. How does that go? Give us a little piece.
Yes.
Oh I'm young, but I'm wise enough to know that you don't fall in love overnight. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That's all I thought if I took my time, that everything in love would be alright. But as soon as I close my eyes, I was saying to love goodbye. But I guess I'm lonely, broken. Oh, okay. I don't even sound that great right now, but yeah, it's Broken Hearted.
Yes, that's the song. That's it. Broken Hearted.
Right.
Yes, that's
love it.
That's
love it.
Yeah. So those were the days.
Okay. So now you met with Junior Rodigan. He's linked you with certain people in the industry. What is the next process? Where do you head to next?
All right. There's something really key in here. Inside the record shop, I met Alpheus.
You met who?
I met Alpheus, which is a
Alpheus,
very yeah. And so at the time, Alpheus was promoting an album called Quality Time. That would have come out on Heartbeat, but it was a Studio One recording. So he's a Studio One artist.
Now, give me a sense of time. What period are we talking about? What year?
We're talking about. Let's see. I was 19 then, so let's see, I'm 42 now.
We'll be talking about 2010, 10ish.
Oh no, we going back. We going way back, like 1990. 1990. 98, 97.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
back. Yeah.
Right.
So it was around that
So
time that I
so that so that means you would have met Alpheus before you met with Junior Rodigan. I'm
no,
with
I
you.
met Alpheus because of Junior Rodigan. So Junior
Okay.
Rodigan was promoting his album, and he come to the shop, and he had Heartbeat representative Joshua B at the time.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
and so because he was promoting that album, he was doing a show in town, and
Hmm.
was looking for singers to
Right.
do some background vocals on his stuff. So that was the first time that I had ever done background vocals for an artist. Which
Okay.
yeah, so I met Alfie in Boston. This is before I even stepped foot into England.
Right.
Wow.
And so he's Alpheus is the man who gave you your first shot.
Yeah, yeah, big
Salute to
time.
Alpheus. We have to salute Alpheus, you know.
Big
Alpheus,
time.
yes.
As a matter of fact, we got to get Alpheus on our show and speaking it into existence. That's all, you know.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. That's gonna
absolutely.
happen.
But yes, so big respect to Alpheus. Where do you head to next? Because now you're getting a feel of the industry. You must be feeling this is something I can do. Where's your headspace at, and what do you do to make your dream a reality?
I mean, I think it was just trying to be everywhere. I think the Alpheus life that to even come to Britain and see Alfie again was wild for me. I didn't think that would have been possible. You know
Hmm.
what I need? That's what I need. I need a plug. Excuse me, I need a plug.
No problem.
Yeah, I didn't think that would have been possible because
Hmm.
when I came to Britain to be married and to I just happened to meet a man who was from Britain and I thought I was gonna come and live my life here because I had family here and I wasn't gonna do music. I came here, I was gonna shut my mouth and I was just gonna get on with life because I just thought
Hmm.
that's what you did when you get married. And I was starting a family really young. So, yeah, if I was going to fast forward, I fast forward to that. And something just told me, you know what, reach out because obviously you've been to Stingray. You recorded, I recorded another Brandy song when I went to Stingray. Have You Ever? I
Have you
recorded
ever?
that when I was
Okay.
on. Yeah, so when I came
Mhm.
in '99, when my dad sent me here, I recorded "Have You Ever," and it was on another rhythm. It was on something else, um, and I just happened to when I got back, when I finally moved here, I just thought, you know what? If I plan on doing this music again, I need to reach out to the people that I already met when I was here.
Mm.
Yeah, and so once I did that, that just started the ball rolling all over again because
Mm.
somehow Stingray, it somehow really remembered that I had been there singing my heart out. Of course, I
Hmm.
was a couple of tones smaller. I sounded like a little girl then.
Mm.
So it wasn't the same voice, but it was the same person, same,
Mm.
same spirit. Um, and I had contacted Alpheus as well to say, hey, guess who's living in England? Like, what you doing? What you getting up to? And yeah, that's just the spiral. It just went from there, and that's yeah.
Now lead us up to where you now get onto a platform called Britain's Got Reggae. How
Mhm.
did that come about?
Yes.
Because I remember at the time when I had Stockade Radio, I had started a show which was called uh, Lovers Rock Nonstop, and I changed it to British Reggae Nonstop. And it so happened around about the time when I started that show, I heard about Britain's Got Reggae. So all the artists from Britain's Got Reggae ended up on my show, for an interview. But I think at the time when you must have come along, I must have stopped that show at some point, which is why you escaped the grasp of the 10 star.
Just in time. Just in time then, was it? I got this one. I didn't get that one. It's okay.
There
Wow.
you go. But tell us
Right.
about that journey and tell us about Sirleen, Beverly Notes, the full 9 yards.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. So
Take it from there,
at
Sharon.
the time,
Yeah.
at the time, let me see, Britain's Got Reggae. So I'd been doing recordings for Mellow Vibes around those times, and we're still doing background vocals for Alfie. So by this time now, I was traveling. I would been in and out of Europe doing background vocals for Alfie, because he was pushing other albums and things. So 2017, something just said, you know what, Claire Angel has done it. And for me, Claire Angel is, I mean, we've worked along the way. We met along our journeys to Stingray. So Claire Angel becomes like a sister in music for me. She's somebody I really rate highly. And
That's why.
you know, and big up to Serlene as well, because something just said, oh, these auditions are going on in Bristol. And I was in Bristol at the time. My son was playing for Bristol Rovers, and he had a practice, and we weren't leaving town until I was like, we can't leave town yet because these auditions are going on. Let's just go and poke our head in and see what's going on, you know. And I come in and I can't even remember what happened. She must have looked at me. She was like, "Can you sing? What are you doing?" Like, and it was a bunch of like people already auditioning at the time. I was like, "Yeah, I can sing." I don't know why I was being all quiet, but I knew Claire Angel was in town as well, and I'm like, "Oh, Claire Angel's at the audition. I get to see Claire Angel at Abbey." So, yeah, she's like, "Can you sing? What are you doing? Do you have your music or what have you?" And I was like, "Bruh, yeah, I think I probably had like a rhythm on the phone or what have you." Right, well, get up there. And so I just happened to do this audition, and they were like, "Okay, so you have the thing in it, like you can do the thing." So yeah, that was just. I didn't go there to really audition, although I always liked auditioning. I would audition for Voice, audition for Britain's Got Talent. I've done the auditions, but I've seen the contracts, and I didn't like the way the contracts were written, so that's why I didn't sort of, you know, I didn't pursue anything. But this, I was like, it was just a running thing. Anyway, yeah, met Beverly that night, and she's like, "Yeah, man, good, you know, good. We have some different energy on the show." So yeah, that was the beginning of
because I think Claire Angel was the Britain's Got Reggae winner for 2016, I think it was, and you came in at 2017 and became the winner, which led on to some of the winners. I'm not too sure if the finalist or the winner only ended up at the Rotterdam Festival, or how did it go?
So the winner ends up at the Rotterdam Festival. So if you win, then you get
And the runners up, I'm assuming.
Yeah. I haven't seen any runners up. No. No. But yeah, it was a winning slot, and you know,
I saw your performance at Rotterdam, to be honest, and because I had a good look at your bio and everything, and I was watching your performance, and I was loving your blend of, I could say, a blend of that lovers rock in with R&B. It's kind of different, and it kind of reminded me a couple of years back in the 90s, of an artist called Lukey D, who came in with a difference. And here you are. It's like, I'm hearing the female version.
Wow, that's a big name, you know. And I've known Lukey D since I was about 16. He also would have been one of those artists I was in the studio with in Boston. Him singing Sweet. I've met a lot of artists in Boston over the years. And I'm very grateful for them, because Lukey D is somebody I look up to quite a lot. He would say my name to you, and very, very lovely person, and very talented. And so, yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot. That means a lot. That name. I think what was nice with that performance is that there was a lot of music, and bless up to Mellow Vibes as well, for allowing me to come and record there. Merriman from Birmingham. I've had this space to create these tunes and these songs, and for some reason my delivery will be R&B because of my beginnings, you know. And not only that, like some of the reggae artists that I really look up to are so R&B. They're so Sam Cooke, like original R&B, not this pop stuff we're listening to now. We're talking about like proper lover songs. Yeah. And that's what makes me, I think that's why my delivery is what it is, because there are those that I looked up to. I looked up to Marcia. I looked up to Pam Hall. I looked up to
yes.
You know, when you think of these artists, Beres Hammond, definitely looked up to Beres Hammond. You know, they all have that old school delivery, that song, you know. And I just I really related to them. And I'd never ever say that I know Mariah Carey. You know, I don't like. It took a long time to even come to that point where, well, one, you have to be comfortable in the voice that you have. This is the voice that I have. If this is the voice that I have, then I need to deliver with the voice that I have. I can't try and sound like someone else, or, you know. So anything that I would do, especially in terms of cover or anything like that, it would have to be me. Yes, it's that song, but I need to deliver it to you the way I know how. You know, the way it feels good to me.
And that's what makes you so, and that is what makes you so unique. It's like when you and I first had a conversation, I said, there's no way to explain it but this. I said, you have the roots and culture so depth within you that shines. You know what I mean? When you do your songs, you are reminiscent of, there's another soul artist, what's her name? Misha Paris.
Oh,
10 stars. You remember Misha Paris? She reminds me, it's the tone in her voice like a Misha Paris. Like probably nobody would be thinking of that. And I'm like, yeah, Misha Paris. You know who I'm talking about, right? Misha was our soul queen. That's you. What do they call you? You are the female Beres Hammond, as they say. It's the literal tone in your voice. And Misha Paris kind of had that. And it's a natural thing for you, while you're just opening doors at a whole nother level.
Here's what I hear, just to piggyback of what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I believe that there are singers who just have to wait their time. But in waiting your time to shine, you have to believe in yourself. The more you continue, the more you believe that at some point my time is going to come. Because I was really thinking, meditating about why I've seen your name and it didn't resonate with me in the past. And I'm thinking about it so clearly. And then without thinking about it, I went into the bathroom, did my thing, blah, blah, blah. And it came to me, we have to wait our time. Because here I am over the last couple of years paying more attention to Rafeelya. However, not up until I got onto Lovers Rock Radio and Maestro played, I think it was a tune called Sharing the Night, which you did with Lloyd Brown. And he shares many secrets with me, you know. So big up Lloyd Brown. But tell me about working with Lloyd Brown, because that man is, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay. Where do I begin with Lloyd Brown? Super talent. Like when I tell you, I feel like we hear the music the exact same. But what I loved about working with Lloyd Brown is that, like, first cut, like there were things where I was like, nah, I need to do that again. He was like, you're mad. He's like, no, we're not. Do that again. No. First cut, that is the one. And I'm like, really? You sure? He's like, nah, you didn't hear what I heard. You're obviously not hearing what I heard.
Yeah.
And I just big respect to him. And what's funny, it's not even funny. I think maybe it's a massive respect, because I think he would have been talking to Alicia Scott, and Alicia Scott would have mentioned me. And that's so. It's interesting how that even came about, but to work with him is just like, whoa. Yeah, we hear the music the same, and just the education, because there are things that he was hearing that I didn't understand, and I moved. I moved because he said, "Nah, trust me, try it." And it takes, you have to. I think as an artist, one thing I'll never do is have so much ego that I'm not in the space to learn. Right. So when you come across producers that would say, "Oh, try this, or do it this way, or do it that way," I'm not afraid to try it that way, because I don't expect to know everything. And I need to be able to be open enough to hear where it's going, because if I'm not, then I don't learn anything.
Yeah.
And so I was very grateful for that. Very grateful for being able to work with him. Very grateful for him to be able to trust me to do that, because I can remember him actually saying, "All right, so which song do you want to do?" He would say, "Which song do you want to do on the tribute album?" And I was like, "It's got to be Sharing the Night. Like it's only right." And he's like, he's like, "Really? Like He's like, "It's been done, but okay." It said okay, and I was like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah, man. Yeah, let's do this." And when he said yeah, I was like, "Okay, cool." And so yeah, I took the drive, and I was so glad. I was so glad I did. Like, what just a wonderful evening, and ended up doing more work on the Therapy album. So I did a lot of the background vocals on the Therapy album as well, on top of the Salute album. So it was a journey, and I really appreciated working with him, honestly.
I'm just going to play a few bars if I can, and bear with me a second. Let me see if I can do this on my little system. You can hear it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only going to play a few bars.
Thank you.
Baby making music, and that's it.
Yeah. See there?
You're looking kind of lonely, boy. Would you like someone new to talk to? I'm feeling kind of lonely too. If you don't mind, can I sit down here beside you?
You're going to trigger me up, so I had to stop it. Right?
But listen,
I swear. You know when they say music can mad you, right?
Yeah.
Music can literally mad you when you hear, Jesus, there's something about your voice and music that it was born to intertwine. That song there, right? Open my mind to Rafeelya.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
don't get me wrong. I've had loads of your stuff, especially you and Stingray and various others. But when I bought the project, because I got a couple friends who did a couple things on that same project album, but your tune, Sharon, take the mic away from me.
Oh, well, listen, that's what I'm saying. Before him get stupid, because you see, I'm getting nuts. Listen, child, I was.
Let me tell you something. If music does not mad you, something wrong. Sorry, let me behave myself. Then take the mic away from me.
It's artists like yourself, unique artists like yourself, that does people's heads in like him, right? It's artists like you that changes the whole game. You know what I'm saying? You change the game. When you think about music nowadays, and I'm a fan of so many people based on how they deliver a song, right? For some, kind of reminiscent or sounds the same as everything else, but individuals like you, I promise you change the game. You bring back the soul. All right, when I look back, when I think back to reggae music, right, Lovers going all the way back. when people are doing covers, they're doing covers of a lot of the R&B stuff, yeah, and then they're making it into, when you put the reggae feel behind it, it just grabs. But you already have the best of both worlds because you are that person, you are that soul, right? Because of where you were born and where you come from, that's rooted in you. That's not going nowhere, right? But you just have that soul, roots and culture, lovers rock feel that naturally flows. You have embraced who you are. Number one, you embrace what your vocals can do for you. Because it is a thing where when you're learning or you want to do a song or when you want to do a run, you think you're supposed to sound a certain way, but then when you do it, like, oh, well, I think this is better, no? As opposed to somebody telling you, no, try it this way. It really is. You found who you are. And you're not letting it go. And that's the most beautiful thing. You're not. Nobody can tell you what you're supposed to sound like because you already had a sound that nobody's heard. So how could you change that? That's what makes you who you are.
I think the question that should be, when did you know that greatness was within you?
Oh,
Is that a fair question?
It's a very fair question. I think that each song presents something different. And I don't think I don't think I've even put my finger on it yet. I think there's been things I've done great that I think, wow, okay, that's brilliant. There's been things I go, all right, you didn't really hit it there. But I think I don't think I've put my finger on it yet. I think that's the best answer I can give you. And the reason why I say that is because if I feel like if I put my finger on that, then I stop trying.
Is it fair to say your father was a freedom fighter?
My father. Yes, in the sense that he was an educator. He educated himself. I think he stopped going to school at age 9. So when it comes to his own education, like he was determined, and I think that's what makes him a freedom fighter: being determined, being someone who was willing to persevere no matter what. I think the only thing that I think he got a lot of knocks, and I think those knocks kept him from pursuing any further. And I think at one point he said, I need to give room to me. And even with him giving room to me, like he was hard on me. He was really hard. But there's something that he showed me. He would write a song and he would go back to it. Over 20 years, he would open back up he said, you know what, I remember singing this song and I wrote it this way, but I want to perfect the words. And I'm thinking, Daddy, that song's 20 years old. Like, how are you going back to, I couldn't understand it. And he said, no, Rafeelya, when you think you need to be able to go back. And it's something I'd never done.
Right.
It's something I to this day that I am still understanding why. Understanding why you need to go back and not look at things as it or the perfection or the level. So, when you ask me if I feel like I've, when did I establish some sort of greatness? I think I knew I could sing. The thing with each rhythm would be how well and what's the delivery. Also, what am I trying to get across and who my audience is? A lot of the times, every song that I write, it needs to be able to, your elders need to be able to listen to it. The younger need to be able to listen to it. There needs to be a message there that I'm happy to be out there. Like, so yeah.
I'm glad you touched upon that because that was going to be my next question. Because now you've entered the UK, you've gone on to Britain's Got Reggae, you became the winner. you've just expressed your mindset. Tell me more about your mindset and what you wanted to contribute to an industry that was already existing. What were you seeing, perceiving that you wanted to contribute?
I more than all that, like I think Sharon, you talked about it, about that sound. So when I noticed you know, the vocals here have a sort of timestamp. So when you talk about the vocalists here, a lot of the times, a lot of the vocalists sound the same. They all sort of. I'm not saying that's everyone, but there is a sound, and that sound comes at time. So you know, you had your Amy Winehouses, and then anyone that comes behind Amy, a lot of them have that variation of the sound of Amy, and even the delivery the same.
So your sound is deliberate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's not. I don't want to sound like anybody else. I need to have my own sound, and it served me well having that as my, having that as my thing, because I know that when the songs play in the juggling, I stand out. People will go, "Oh, that's Rafeelya." So that much is good. I tick that box. And I say I tick that box because I've been told. So that's an important thing, is that people actually come, I heard your song at such and such, and they know it's me. I've not been mistaken for anyone else, which is beautiful. And the other thing is, like I said, it's delivery and topic. So anyone can write a love song, but it's the way it's written. So like on the Stingray label, "Blow You a Kiss," if you want it, say you'll have it, I'll blow you a kiss. It's just the way it's the delivery, the early warm. If anybody's remembers the early warm, talking about the dance and the way we used to the way we used to party, the way how wallpaper, color on our wallpaper, it's always, there always needs to be a story, a story of some sort in the delivery, and something that, everyone can sort of relate to. Even in the song Signal, seeing a whole lot of hands-on business. We having shabby boundaries, hands off the merchandise until I say so. You could at least wait till I give you some signal. Like,
Love that.
It's about the delivery. And it's about making sure that actually when people come away, they felt like, oh,
hands off the merchandise. Woo! That's a song called Signal, right?
Yeah.
Signal by JJ Bone to sing.
Yes, big up JJ Bone, this producer on the album. I wrote the song. Yeah.
Pick him up.
Well on.
Hands off the merchandise. No, will I say so? Do it this way. Will I give you some signal?
Lord fire. Listen, I had to stop it because music can mad me. You see that tune there? That particular tune. Oh, Jesus. Sharon, take the mic, please.
Oh my God, he's so funny.
What was it like working with JJ Bone to sing, by the way?
Yeah, tell me
You
that,
know
'cause
what a great session. As a matter of fact, I think it was recorded the day before my birthday. I rode through. I come through. I think it was. I turned 41. Go to London. I meet all the artists sort of recording on this rhythm, and it was a day session, so all of us were in there. And so,
Coral said, "Play the song."
he will. Trust me, Carl, he gonna do it.
I will. Before the show ends, I'll play it again.
Yes.
Sorry,
so,
Rafeelya.
No, it's okay. I love it. So yeah, it was a great session. That day was really wonderful, and there were moments where I was just uncertain, and yet I was the last to. No, I wasn't the last to record. He was the last to record, and he was just like, he was worried about time, and I was like, "Nah, don't worry," because he had a system, which was what I liked. He had a system that he wanted to hear the song before it went to record. So he wanted to know in terms of your preparation. I thought, well, that's smart because anybody who's in the business knows, one, studio time is expensive, and two, you don't come here for rump. You don't come here to play. You know, come get your thing done and get it up with. So yeah, it was brilliant. It went off without a hitch. I think I recorded the song in about 45 minutes tops.
What?
Yeah,
that's good.
45 minutes tops. And yeah, it was basically because I think I had even in writing the song, I had my son in the car when it came to the hook. Because I was writing the verse, and I was like, man, I like how this verse is going. I was like, well, I need to do this chorus somewhere. And so I started singing it to him. My eldest son is 20 now, but I think at the time, he was about 9. And he can't stand it when I'm in the car and I start, fiddling with it, mess with him. But I call him the mini Simon Cowell. But this boy is the one to sit right? When you watch Britain's Got Talent, and he like, nope, get him off. And that's before Simon says anything. So I can always go to my son if that makes sense. He's
one of your staunch critics.
It's crap. He's like,
So you're going to get the truth from him then.
Yeah, like he's not gonna beat around the bush. He's gonna be like, actually, that's
right. Tell it like it is. Yeah.
So I ran the chorus by him, and he was like, actually, that's the one. And I was like, you sure? Because I waiting for him to talk some rubbish. He loved talking trash. So I was waiting for him to go, nah, ma, that's not the one. But he was like, actually, that's the one. And I was like,
right.
Oh, okay, all right, cool, it's in. And he gave me that push on the chorus. Then the second verse was a go. And I don't even think I wrote the last half of the second verse until I was in the studio that day. Yeah. Because I was telling JJ, I was like, look, I know I've got what do you call it? I know I've got a deadline that I need to turn this song. So I sent him what I had because I needed him to know that I'm still doing this. I'm serious, but this is how far I've got. And trust me, don't worry. When I reach, it's gonna be all right. And we did. Yeah. And to JJ for the link. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So sorry, actually the baller is 16. Baller turned 16 yesterday, and the eldest is 30. Yeah.
Okay. Baller 16 now. 16 you said, right?
Yeah, my youngest boy is 16.
Okay.
And my eldest is 20.
It sounds like he's got some good ears.
Yeah, but this is true too. But look at it. Hey, but you're not looking at the reality right now. She looks like she is 16, but she has 16 and 20. Look at her. She looks.
Thank you.
Her.
Doesn't look old enough.
She doesn't even look old enough. Hello. Yeah. No, she is. Yes. That is a beautiful thing, and you are so lucky. I love JJ. He's an amazing vocalist. He's just an amazing individual. So you have been blessed with meeting so many amazing people.
I think so too.
You know what I'm saying? That's in one lifetime you're able to meet so much amazing people. That is a testament to who you are.
Yeah.
There's no words for that, man. There is just no words. There was a song that I liked. Let me see. It was a video. I know it came out 2022. And the video was, oh my gosh, what was it? Let me think. I loved the video. It was wicked, number one, right?
I was like, huh? It was the early one.
I'm gonna tell you 1 second. I'm telling you, this girl did her thing in this video. It was I just had it in my
Nobody's calling.
Warm. It's called the Early Warm.
Yeah.
Early Warm, okay.
You ever seen that? Oh my gosh. And this you got it. Did you not hear it? Did you hear it?
I haven't heard that one. I've got some catching up to do.
Look, this was only 2022, but she did a video for it, and I'm just like, oh my God, this girl is ridiculous. You're just ridiculous. Wicked.
Thank you.
I would like to play a little bit. I think I might be able to do something like you do, 10 Star, because I always let you control.
All right, let's see if you can do it.
Can I give 10 Star just a little bit of the lyrics?
Yeah,
Yes.
go.
It goes, left my friends behind, had the early warm on my mind. I was dressed to impress, gonna rock and sway, no stress. I'll leave my print on the wall from where we'll both commence to enjoying the early warm. We came here for romancing. On the early warm, on the early warm. Grab a girl and keep moving. On the early warm. You know about the early warm. You know when you reach the dance, right? And
Yeah.
that's what you want. You want to start. You just want to get in.
Yeah, Shabin Stiley.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
and so the video was like that. So when you honestly listen to the lyrics, I was just like, you're a bloody genius, mate. So let me just hold on. It was because it was about us. To be honest with you, that's how I saw it. It was about us.
Run the tune.
Can you hear me?
Talked about the early warm. No, they didn't. And that's why I'm here. Rafeelya again. Left my friend behind. Had an early warm on my mind. Now I'm dressed to impress. Gonna rock and sway, no stress. Now I leave my friends on the wall. From where we'll both commence to enjoy it.
Cut it.
On the early warm, on the early warm. Grab a girl and get moving. Oh, man.
John. You see, as I come to understand these platforms, I'm trying to keep to their guidelines and thing, copywriting and them thing there, you know. So yeah, so but you know, that there's so much that you have done. Um Before we end the show, and I know there's so much more to talk about, but to condense it all, you're now in an industry that's getting a big fight. To me, UK artists do not get the credit they deserve internationally. What is it you pick up that you feel? Because to me, this is what I see from you, just picking up from your vibration, picking up from your music. To me, there's something about you that tells me your journey is yet to begin.
I really appreciate you saying that. And I think, a lot of what we have in terms of the industry wouldn't be what it is if people just didn't continue doing what they love and what they were passionate about. How it is going to connect with the outside world, that has yet to be seen. But we are finding ways to connect. I mean, just recently, CC Foster, you would have seen, stepping outside of this, and people like Alicia Scott. Like we are all sort of we are not one trick ponies, and so because of that, even Dion Reed, like there's some names that I can just mention that, especially in our age group, that are looking to not be under the helm of reggae, not be stuck in this sort of box because of what the industry is doing, but to break out. And that would help people to look back at the journey and the fact that actually we've been doing this a long time, and it just come. It's just that the business itself, it's sad. It's really sad especially if you're coming from a place where I'm coming from, where like vinyl was at the helm, like, and not only that, just before that, the sound systems actually had artists that they moved with. So the dub plate business, it's been this progression of things that has moved the business along, but we're not there again. The digital age means saturation, and so And
Would you say the digital age kind of crippled the industry, or would you? What would be your thought? Because I know many people can say that they can go independent now and do their thing themselves and so forth. But to me, the sales is not saying it. I think we have to go. To me, I think it's got to go back to vinyl, which I do believe is happening in Europe in a big way.
it's happening. And the reason why it's able to happen is because um, the people that are going into vinyl know that they're not just going to release anything. And that's a quality thing because you know how much it costs to press record. You know how long it takes for it to
Yeah.
leave the plant and get back to
Yeah.
your hand. A lot of
Mhm.
I have a lot of music on vinyl that you won't even catch on digital. I've
Digital,
got
right?
about
Yeah.
five
True.
vinyl
That's
out
true.
already. You know,
Okay.
yes, I've been very lucky to still have that hand on, because of Mellow Vibes,
Mm,
because of the European producers as well.
right.
Latest tune coming out with Sir Coxon International. That's vinyl.
Mm,
There's
mm,
there's a level um, that vinyl brings because the digital age now, if a man knows how to release his thing on digital and he thinks he can mix his tune down himself and he's not let this tune pass other people's ears before he's
mm.
released his thing, then quality is going to be different. You can,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? There's I think the digital age can definitely has a lot to do with the crippling of the business because we are
Mm,
not looking at the quality of things. Sometimes we're figuring actually, oh well, my ears can't do it. We can't just do it, man. We can't just do it fast and then
mm,
give it a
mm.
date and then put it out. But you're not necessarily releasing your best work.
Yeah.
What I'm also hearing is a decline in the mixing and the
Hmm.
mastering stages because it's something that I listen to very. I hear a lot of great music, but a lot of what fails it is the mixing and mastering. You know, I don't know how best to say that. I know a lot of people are now talking more and more about the mixing and mastering stage. There's something about vinyl also which comes with a fullness
That's right.
if you can find the right mastering places to do that.
Hmm.
You know.
Hmm.
No, I know a lot of places shut down in the past. Let me see this on Money General. Yes, so I know a lot of places shut down in the past. So I know pressing plants. I don't know really and truly
Yes.
whether it's
So I
on
know
a.
a lot of places shut down in the past, so I know pressing plants.
Who's that?
I have no idea. Sorry, that was continue.
Okay, yeah,
That
yeah.
was you.
So I don't know. Yeah, yes. I don't know where that came from. But what we're going to do before we end the show, I'll tell you what, um, we're going to get some people to ask Rafeelya or tell us how they feel about Rafeelya as an artist. If you're a fan of Rafeelya, if you love her music and you want to tell her how you feel, good vibes, good responses, whatever it is, I'm going to send the link into the chat room and you'll be able to come up on the show and ask Rafeelya a question. That's if you want to. We're going to put the link out there any second now. While I do that, please keep it clean, keep it positive. Rafeelya, we love her like cook food. I love
Yeah.
Rafeelya like me. I am saltfish and some little rice
Yeah.
and peas on the edge. You know what I mean? Rafeelya knows the deal. She knows the deal. So I'll
Mm.
tell you what.
Big
Let me
respect.
put the
She knows.
yeah, man. So let me just put the link in there. So let me see if it works. Does it work?
Yes,
Okay,
it worked because it
there's the link.
popped up.
So if anybody
So,
wants to ask Raphaelia a question, to me, Raphaelia, your journey is only just beginning,
thank you.
and there's so much more to love about you. The beauty of what I pick up from you is the fact that, you know, I do not know what is to come, but I'm looking forward to what is to come. That's the exciting thing. I don't lose my focus or my interest in you as an artist, you know. And I just want to focus on you and nobody else right now. So you keep me interested in what is going to come next. I want to hear the lyrical content. I want to hear the vibration. I want to see what kind of bass line. Is it rolling? Is it rolling? Is it nice? Is it whatever? You know what I mean? How's she going to deliver it?
There's
Jeez,
so much goodness to come. Let me tell you, there's so much goodness to come. And like I said, because the next 2 tracks coming out are on vinyl. So there's one called Make My Decision, and then there's Take Your Position. So there's 2 coming next year, 2 tracks on vinyl. And after that, like I'm working with people like Don Instrumental. And when you think of, just like I said, I am connected, and I've still got tunes coming out with Linville Thompson, Roberto Sanchez. Like the connections are there, and what I don't do is I'm always investing in myself at every level. Investing in myself. That early one video that was paid for by me, like me run from council tax for them something. They understand, like. That's not, and I don't pay my bills, but what I'm saying is, at the same time, I am adamant about investing in myself. I feel like when when you feel like you don't have the back, you are your best. You are your best avenue. You want something done, you've got to dig deep, and you've got to invest in yourself to have what it is.
Okay.
You know. So yeah.
Let me ask you one more question before we bring on a guest who's in the chat room. I mean, in the guest room. We're going to bring him up in a second. What would you like in terms of change in the industry for females? Are you happy where it's at, or what changes would you like to see?
I mean, we need some female booking agents. I know that for a fact. We need some female booking agents. And I haven't met any yet. There's probably some out there, but I haven't met any.
So we're talking good representation. Good
representation. And we need a link to mainstream. We need a link to mainstream, because that was something that we had at one point. You know, when you talk about VP at the time, you know, when a lot of reggae was going mainstream, we need that link to push things that way. And maybe Idris Elba is it for England, because he sort of has that, that sort of link into mainstream. We need that. We need quality control. I think the business needs quality control.
Yeah.
And that goes for me. That goes for anybody. If I make something that isn't a standard, we need to have a standard. There needs to be a standard so that we can make that crossover. Those are just some of the things that I can feel like. And the other bit is, we kind of got to take ego out of it, just a little bit. You need to take ego out of it, and we need to heal so that way our ego doesn't get the best of us, and it doesn't allow people to progress. So I think that's the most I can ask for from the business at this rate. Because there's a lot of that, and a lot of that is killing off the thing. You know, it creates fights, and that sort of ignorance can exist in a music that's supposed to, uplift people and so yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring on the first one of your fan base hosts. His name is Extra Large, I think. Here we go.
Junior Thompson.
Hey.
Junior Thompson. Thank you, sir.
Yes, I'm mute. Can't hear you.
Can you hear us? Unmute yourself.
I'm good. You got it.
Let me see if I can. I don't know.
Can you mute him?
Try and unmute. Oh, was it? That was. I don't know.
So at the bottom of the screen, there's a list of things.
Yeah, you cannot. Okay.
He can't. He cannot.
Gotcha.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, blessings.
Thank you, Junior.
Man. I'm gonna keep it short and spicy, because you see me texting a lot in the group.
Yes.
Is it 17 years ago, Rafeelya?
Oh gosh, yes, 17 years. Yes.
Yeah, 17 years ago, the connection with Rafeelya happened. She recorded 2 big songs for me. Just
Mhm.
as I was about to put them out, the isms and schism in the business and family issues caused me to just break up. And
Mm.
just earlier this year, summer, in fact,
Mm.
we started back, and it's been a joy because we're having all the support. I turned 50 by the 20 by March 2024,
Okay.
and I'm intended to put out at least 3 of those albums. Rafeelya is on 2 of them. Hopefully, she'll do the other one.
Whoop, whoop.
But yeah, man, the voice,
Mhm.
Rafeelya's voice. I've never experienced
Crucial.
that voice, that uniqueness
Yeah.
anywhere else, and I've been in the business a long, long time. I mean, I keep
Mm.
Buju Banton, the biggest Buju Banton show in Belize. I play
Mm.
music on air in Belize. I'm a Jamaican. I play music out here. Sound system. I've never experienced Rafeelya's
Mm.
voice anywhere
Greatness.
else. You normally hear voices, artists, and you say, "Oh, sound like this person," or I've
Mhm.
never. And honestly, all the best, sister. I see you pushing through same way. This, as I said, 2024, we should be walking up when the nominations for Grammy, because that's the level we're putting it at, because it's a quality music. We have done all
Yes.
the work with regards to the marketing. So as I saying to you, it's just some final details, the completion of the website, the artist profile on social media, and then we have it there. I mean, we're putting out things, yeah. All the best.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, my brother. Junior P, what is the name of your label?
Extra large family, man. Extra large
Extra
family.
large.
I
Are
mean,
we
you
talking about extra large from the 90s?
boy, you kind of dating the thing, but we've been around.
Because I remember
We've
back in
been
the early 80s, which
all right.
had
So
artists like Cobra and them and there.
there are 2 extra large
Okay.
in that time. Mine was the lower keyed one, but we were there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're
We
talking to us
first.
from where? Where are you talking from right now? Jamaica?
I'm in Kingston, Jamaica. We're talking about.
Kingston. Wow.
Yes,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Yeah, hopefully, this time next year we will be in UK, and
Yeah.
then we'll drag Rafeelya down here because she has a lot of work
Aye.
to do. Still,
Yes,
yeah,
See,
this
man.
is like
It's a joy. It's a joy.
well, we'll be looking out for your productions as well, to expose
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And
No,
this is
I
what I
know.
believe. I believe that we all need to come together to work
Correct,
together for the
correct,
better.
correct.
And like Raphaelia rightly said, we need to reduce that thing named EGO.
ego.
Reduce it.
Ego. No,
Let's
you're
just
correct.
take
Well,
it
she
down to
knows me.
2%.
She knows me, and she know that's me. I mean, you would never know that I'm in music. You would never know the things that I do.
Mm,
Yeah,
mm,
I'm a registered architect. I'm a project manager. I'm a builder,
mm,
and I'm
mm,
also a music. I mean,
mm.
everything with regards to entertainment and music.
Right.
You know. But yeah, the love is here. As I say, I know she's sorting out this album that she has, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to overshine it. But I think the 2 songs that she did for me,
Mm-hmm.
biggest,
Bop,
biggest.
bop, bop. I can't
Alongside
wait to hear
Luciano
it.
and those other people, when this thing comes out, it's gonna blow. Yeah,
Right, wicked. So
yeah,
wait a
yeah.
said the billboard.
No, we're thinking the sales, because we're doing the marketing for the sales,
Yeah,
because it
man.
don't make sense. We're on Billboard and we're on Grammy and we're not getting sales. We
Right,
are going to get the sales and compete with the top tier of the
right.
other genres.
In
I
this day and
mean,
age, how do you deal with sales in this in this era in time as a
our
person who's a producer yourself?
good questions is to ensure that you cover all the dots with regards to the various platforms. There are various platforms, and it's not one platform suits everything. You have one does half of this, another does half of that, another does. You have to just ensure that you collect 100% or close to the
Mm,
100% of what you can collect. You know,
mm,
and the business of music is what a lot of artists failing on, and that's one of my strong points. All my artists, I mean, I register them from the get-go.
right.
So I was able to 17 years ago register them and go back online. At the time, it was Catco because I
Oh,
registered with PPL.
PPL,
Catco
okay.
is not existing since 2015, so I'm now on the PPL, and the catalog is there, the repertoire is still there, you know.
Right.
So that is a major part of it, and then get some deals. You have a lot of distributors out there that distribute. I mean, I was of the era when vinyl was going, and I actually was looking at doing the masters, and that's when things just went AY.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Yeah, and with the radio stations, it just turned me off, and as I say, I just took a break. You know, but the good thing about it is that 100% of the artists that I used to work with and sign, they are back on board. You know,
Right.
They have had years of maturity in the business now. So it's like since last month to now, we have gone like about 12 tracks that I'm thinking serious tracks when we drop them out. You know? Serious tracks, and it's not to tout the music. It's just we know the quality of the music. You know.
Right.
Yeah, so we
thank you for
but
sharing
this is not
that
for
with
me.
us.
This is Rafeelya.
Thank you
And
for sharing that with
ironically,
us.
yeah, man. Ironically, I came across this, and I'm saying Rafeelya. There's only one Rafeelya I know, and I jumped on. I think I jumped on. What was it? The last time you're on? Because I subscribed to it and say, you know, notify me, and then I was just sitting down to do some work, and I see it come up, and I stopped. Yeah, man. Have to.
Thank you
Raf,
so much,
blessings.
brother. God bless you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
And thank you for being there. Yeah. Well, anybody else would like to come up and say a word or two, you know, now is your time to do that. Here we have your PR representative, Coro.
Hey, woo! Excuse the quick head tie. You wouldn't want to
We
see
love it. Cultural, you know.
No, we love it. It's called culture.
I
Culture.
look like somebody's mad uncle, but never mind. I'm not
you
the star of the show.
Oh my God.
Hi, Rafeelya again. Right, hello. Hi. First of all, a lovely show. 10-star, Sharon. Really nice show.
Thank you.
I have to endorse what Junior said, Junior Thompson.
Yeah.
I think mine is probably about 6-7 years ago, Rafeelya, I think.
Oh, wow.
It hasn't been, I think, it's been a little while. Just like Junior, I think I was online. I don't know how, I'm trying to remember. I don't know if it's Britain Got Reggae. I can't remember, but I heard her voice. It's the voice. And I grew up in church, so when I hear, you know when someone can sing, you know, and she's got not just the ability to sing, but the ability to reach you, and you know, it makes your back tingle, and you start to make up your face and all those kind of things. And I said, who is that? You know, who is, you know? And I listened to her again. I think I started following her, and I couldn't help myself. I approached Rafeelya and I said, look, this is who I am. I do promotions, I interview, I do social media, and I really want to work with you. So I basically, as Jamaica say, I shub up myself on her. I shub up. And I'm very, it's given me great honor and privilege to work with her. We are friends. I'm a huge fan, even though I am a friend. And she's just continued to grow. She just amazes me. Her voice is amazing. It's indescribable. I've said it to her anyway. I gush all the time. And she is a very creative individual, not just singing. She can songwrite. She thinks in a different way, which most creatives do. And I was just gonna say I love her, but then she's gonna hold me to that because we have this running thing where she tries to force me to say I love her, and I don't like it because I'm not a sorry person. But,
go on, say it, you love her.
Thank you so much for featuring her. I think she is worth it and then some, and I look forward to seeing what Rafeelya comes with, because she's definitely somebody that is not meant to be what's the word, low level. She's meant to be a star, so I had to come and say something. All right,
So
I'm
we
gone now.
wish
I'm gone
So,
shine now.
thank
Gone
you,
Bye,
Coral.
Laura.
Bye
Laura.
bye.
Thanks
Right,
so
how
much.
do I leave? How do I leave?
Good question.
All right,
Just
I tell you,
yeah.
what, I'm gonna,
done,
yeah,
done.
yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, so nice things. That if there's anybody else who want to say something, feel free. The links
Well,
in the chat.
Maestro's
Mhm.
trying to get on, so we'll see.
Is he?
Maestro's
He
trying to.
said so. Okay,
Yeah, he did. He said he was having a problem. He's trying. I said, try again, Maestro.
okay,
So
right,
we'll
right.
see in a minute
Refresh
or two.
your link. Listen,
Yeah.
you've amazed many of us, and I believe in vibration and frequencies as well. You know, when you hear a person's voice, there's a time and there's an era in time where we pick up the frequencies. I'm in an era in time where I'm now picking up the frequencies because it helps me to move forward. You know, when I play your music in the background and you're singing certain songs in the way you do, I haven't heard it being delivered in that way in a very long time, since the era of back in the 90s, early 90s, when I used to listen to Lukey D, you know, and he used to sing in a certain way. And it's like, damn, you know. And then here you are, Rafeelya, in her own infinite way. It's like some of my favorite food. If I could liken your voice and your vibration to my favorite food, again, it has to be ackee and saltfish.
Oh gosh. Well,
Oh,
Mhm.
Jesus. With
I
some rice and peas on the edge. Oh,
oh,
Jesus. You know
I
what that looks like? And then you take a spoonful and then your eyes roll back, right? When you eat
because
some of your favorite.
it's good.
So
It's
stupid.
good, this eat good. Yes, trust me, trust me. I can't say anything but thank you. I'm trying not to tear up. I'm so glad for these glasses. Um, it's been an absolute pleasure to do what I do. It's been I'm super grateful for you having me on and being able to look at my work and
Mhm.
to not just critique my work but actually enjoy it. That means so much to me. Um, I realize that a lot of the times I'm on the outside of things. I don't live in London, so I'm not surrounded by all the
Okay.
noise, so to
Mm.
speak. And um, I know that. I mean, just even thinking back to Britain's Got Reggae and being able to perform there, I know for a fact that there were people hearing my music but had never seen me. And I think
Mm.
Britain's Got Reggae um, really gave that gave me that edge in terms of
Mm.
people actually looking and going, oh my goodness, that's the girl that was I'm sorry I say woman, that's the woman that
Mhm.
and I just think there's certain reasons why you do things that you do. You don't even realize why you're doing it. I know I got a whole
Mm.
lot of fight around that time for going on this platform, but well, why would you go
Mm.
on Britain's Got Reggae? Like you're already a performer, you're already doing this, you're already doing that. And I'm thinking,
Mm.
yes, that's great, but some things we're never above. Sometimes
Mm.
you don't want to think that you're above something. Sometimes you do it for great reason. And I'm actually glad I did because
Mm.
uh, again, it was great to be able to, I mean, just even have that word from Beverly when Beverly said, um, after the first audition, when Beverly said, you know what, I know Louisa Marks, and if she met you, she would have said, why, girl, y'all go
Mm.
on good, and that meant a lot for me to hear because I'm no Louisa Marks, and
Mm.
and and Lovers Rock was delivered at that time. Again, there was a certain tone of voice, there was a certain delivery that made
Mm.
Lovers Rock what it is today. So,
Mm.
I know I don't have that, but to have that delivery that says actually you got it. You didn't have to be that to still
Mm.
give what you gave, and so I'm just grateful. I'm absolutely grateful for every platform and for
Mhm.
every moment that I've been able to just present and be present. Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
so much for that. Listen, before I let you go, although we're holding
Before you
on
let
to
her
your
go, Sharon.
we're,
Okay,
we're,
wait,
we're
hold on.
holding on to our shin bones. I
Holding
have
on
to
to our
bring up
children.
DJ Maestro because
Oh,
he's the
Yes.
person who reached out and made this happen from Lovers Rock Radio. So DJ Maestro, here he is. DJ.
You got on. Maestro, where are you?
Okay, we've lost him. All right.
You?
Okay, we seem to have, maybe he's having some internet problems. I saw his face just a second ago, but maybe it's his phone. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll give him a couple more minutes and see if he's going to come up. And if not, we'll just end the show. But I just want to thank you for coming on the show, sharing your journey with us. You're a remarkable individual. I'm glad that this platform has been able to at least share some of your journey with you and just to pick your mindset to where you're at. Like I say, you're one of those artists I do not know what to expect. And the beauty of the anticipation of waiting for what is yet to come is what excites me about your music. Because there's times when I just buy music, right? And this is what happens. I go click, 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 buy, and I buy the music and I leave it sitting there for a week or two. And then later on I revisit, I go, oh, did I buy that? Okay, and I press play and it excites me, and that is the method to my madness. I don't know. I'm crazy when it comes to music.
Yes, he is.
I
So let
really
me
am.
say
Sharon.
again. Yes, thank you. I was gonna cut you off anyway. So yeah, thank you. Cut me one guy, cut him in, and it's all right, my turn. But listen, let me just say this to you. It's in regards to something that you said, with all the people who started out in Lovers Rock, and of course Louisa Mark being one. Everybody has their mark. Now what you've done, you've just evolved from it, because it's never going to stay the same. It has to evolve, though, giving it the same love and respect on where it actually came from. You've achieved that. You just evolved to another level of Lovers Rock and feeling, because when people like Louisa Mark came on, no matter what age you were, big or small, you just crumble.
Yeah.
Just by listening to her voice, and you've done that. Again, like Amisha Paris, when she sings, you just it's the soul. It just awakens you, and you have done that. You have evolved Lovers Rock to a whole nother level. It was always about soul, rhythm, and soul, right? But you've done that, sister. You've done that, and it is truly, truly an honor to know you. Truly an honor to call you my friend, because I have your number, I can't call,
Yes, anytime.
It
Play a
is
stranger.
no, nobody come no stranger business, but based on what Coralie said and Mr. Thompson, you're an amazing artist. But I just believe for you, what I've realized is that you're very humble and you bide your time. When your time is right, you are gonna blow up and you will get that Grammy. And please God, let me be able to pay for the ticket, because I have to be right up front when that happens. There he is.
Okay, let's get Maestro in before we end the show.
Oh,
Maestro,
got Maestro.
go ahead. I don't know if you can hear me.
Can you hear us?
I think he's having issues. It's got to be his internet. Can you hear me? All right.
Oh, he's trying so hard. He really, Maestro.
All right. It's not happening. It's not happening. Well, DJ Maestro, that's the gentleman who made it happen from Lovers Rock Radio. We've got to big up the Lovers Rock Radio team.
We got the Lovers Rock Radio. Big Lady Sue on Lovers Rock Radio as well. She's local, and she would have been one of. She's local to me anyway, and she would be one of the people that definitely always plays my music on Lovers Rock Radio, and
amen.
Always make those links. So to Lady Sue as well, big up DJ Maestro for making this link, for making it possible. When you sent me a message, I was like, hey, what? Oh wow, like big
Yeah,
respect. So, yeah.
yeah.
Yes, he's here. He's here. Singing in my room.
Maestro, can you hear? Oh, he can't. Okay, it's not
Oh,
happening.
it's gone again. Is it what's my
Rafeelya, we want to
trouble?
give you this time. This is your time to talk to your fan base, talk to the people who, where can they find you? Where can they hook you up? Where can they keep up with what you're doing? Anything you want to say to the people out there across the world?
So, if anything, the first thing I want to say is just thank you. Thank you first and foremost for, listening and respecting and loving good music.
Yeah.
Um, and I mean, I can be found on Spotify. The name is Romeo Alpha Foxtrot Echo Echo Lima Yankee Alpha Rafeelya. I am I am just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it is all about the journey. It's not about getting this massive hit. Like it's coming and it's probably already here. It's just that maybe the person who needs to hear it hasn't heard it yet. But
Um,
I'm not stressed at all about it. I love what I do. I love
mhm.
working with different people. Collaboration is important. Looking after self is important. Make sure you're healing whatever is going on so that you can work with people and can park your ego just a bit, just so that you can learn from this situation. Um, and just thank you for listening, and thank you all for having me. To all my fan base, just keep watching. You can find me on Instagram, find me on Facebook, um, and the website will soon be up. It will be called thisisrafeelya.com. And I will have my vinyl and some goodies on sale, some merchandise on sale as well. And so yeah, it's coming. Everything is there.
Thank you.
There. It's
Before I let you go, just tell me how important is image to Rafeelya?
cool. Um Well, it's important because I love the kids, and I am. And nowadays, it's all about cancel culture. I don't think we're in a time where people realize that you grow and change and things move on. I think people just see you at that point, and that's it. So for me, image is important, and it's important for the kids to know, for the youngest to know that actually that's an open person, that's a real person, that's a human. So for me, image is important in that sense. You won't see me absolutely naked anywhere, or
Right.
there's certain things you won't catch me doing, and the reason why you won't catch me posted up in a picture with a spliff in my hand. There's certain things you won't catch me doing because um, image in that sense is important, and it's all about self at the end of that.
Dignity. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Image.
Rafeelya, we love you like cooked food. We're going to end the show now. I
Thank
know
you.
some people in the chat room were talking about this particular tune, which is called, um, I tell you what, well, because they say in the industry, that was a false start. And in comes the original start. I'm hooked on this tune. Hooked. Hands off.
Until I say so, you can at least wait till I give you something. No, give me something.
Woo!
That's off the merchandise.
Hands off.
No, until I say so, you can at least wait till I give you something. No, give me something. No. Seeing a whole lot of hands-on business, setting shabby boundaries.
I want to big up Junior Thompson. Gotta bless up DJ Maestro TG. Gotta bless up Beverly Knowles Coral. Who else is in there? It's, Sharon. Can you see anybody else in there? Big
No,
up
but you
everybody
got
who
it.
was logged in. Thank you,
Yes.
each and every one. We're gonna be back here, I do believe, next week, Saturday. All right. Not gonna announce the person, but
Not
yeah,
yet.
it's gonna be
No.
another exciting. Sorry?
I said, no, not yet. We're not going to announce who it is. We're just going to be like,
No.
Yes.
No, you're just gonna have to come in and help us to
Just
please
come in.
subscribe to the show. Please subscribe. We're gonna get out of here right now. God bless each and every one. Thank you for tuning in. We're out of here, people. We're out of here. God bless. Take care now.
We are. Bye bye.